super clear on this, but
this meeting is being recorded.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for telling us.
So I do want to start doing more aged though, but I just feel like I have to ease into it slowly.
Get yourself a bottle, cobalt blue,
yeah,
copper, see-through, whatever you got, glass, and keep this around. I didn't date mine, but I know this is a 3-year-old. And just every time you think about it, just pops them under your tongue.
Oh yeah, under your tongue.
Okay.
That,
put it on your tongue, or put it
it
on.
Doesn't have to be 3 years though, right?
It doesn't have to be 3 months. It has to be whenever you feel like it's old enough.
Okay. Well, I've got a 3-month one right
now. This, by the way, is an ongoing conversation in the water family community. What's the exact date?
I know.
How long should it age? And what should I cover it with? We're going, it's simpler than that. So we're getting you. So keep this around so you can either drop it on a skin condition. You can put it at the edge of your nose. This will bring your brain back online somewhere in the middle of the day. If your brain gets sluggish, your energy starts to dip.
Well, I've been snorting it with a cotton ball. And this morning I was kind of snorted up blood. I was like, whoa, okay, well, it's doing something there. So, I wasn't concerned. I was like, okay, this is great.
Well, keep documenting everything that you're doing if you can help it.
Well, I actually got a little journal just for that. It's really pretty too. Look at it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so I am going to do that.
Beautiful. Let's do a communion and get everybody on the same place really quick. The water of life sustains us. The water of life washes away our impurities, our imperfections, our discomforts, our concerns. The water of life brings us back to calmness, centeredness, saneness. We're the sane people on the planet. We're the ones who drink the pee. And it allows you to remember always the sacredness that you are and what is available to you in every moment. That's my prayer. So be it. So, welcome back, Crystal. Welcome back, everybody. Is there anything that was transformed in your health or in your life since our last class? Was there any epiphanies, ahas, or anything that stood out for you in the last week that you can relate it to this practice?
Well, I did 2 days of drinking all my morning urine through my nose. I wanted to just see. I wanted to try it and see what. And I've been noticing my because I've had swollen tonsils and throat since my microbiome has been screwed up, and I feel it kind of calming down now. So I think I'm going to keep doing that.
Yeah, please keep doing that. I'm interacting with Indira a lot about helping her husband who's in the hospital. And I keep having to remind her, your intuition is spot on. You don't want to ask me for my intuition. She says, well, contact Harry Matadine. He wrote about aged urine. Maybe we can get him on the line. I said, he's going to say the same thing I'm going to tell you. Trust your intuition. You'll know how many drops, when, where, on the lips, under the nose, wherever. And she's finally catching on. Oh, I don't have to ask these guys who wrote books on the subject. So same thing with you guys. Your intuition is your guidance system. Hi, Michelle.
Hi. Hi, all.
And take photographs and document.
Document.
It was just, this is not going to be it's not going to sharpen up on it, but those are pictures of the back of my hand when I had water blisters. And I kept them all. I have them all on my phone, but I've used them for presentations. And it's just that, like, I had 44 pictures of the back of my hand over a month, but it's worth it. Later, you're like, oh, because you never would have remembered all the details. You think you're going to remember it and you won't. So take pictures of this stuff.
Good idea. What's the blisters from?
That is interesting.
Good question.
On the one hand, I could say on the one hand, making hand jokes now, I have no idea. I've never had water blisters before.
Oh,
They came out of nowhere on this hand only last May. And there was one really big one, which was right here, and there's still a shadow there, but it's just
Yeah,
a shadow.
mhm.
But there was a big one, and there were small ones all around the hand. And my hand started to hurt in the middle of the afternoon, and within an hour, these blisters had come up on the hand, and it felt like I'd been burned, but I had no idea, like nothing had happened. And so I treated them for a month, and I just used the aged urine on them, and I did what I know how to do for burns, and I figured it was the same idea, and it worked, and they healed. And there's a shadow there, but even within 3 weeks, you could put your hand over the skin and you couldn't feel anything, even though you could see the shadow of what had been there. It felt fine. It looked pretty intense at various points. But when I look back at what I'd done, because it was May of last year, I had joined a course to help me as a wellness professional to learn more about marketing and sales and how to set up my business and how to run something. And then I started talking about urine therapy, and everybody got interested, and Kate Stillman got interested, and the whole thing blew up. And so in my life blew up, and then my hand blew up.
Oh, wow.
Great demo.
So that's sort of where I went with it. I did something that really shook what I thought was going to happen. And so it came out through my skin. And then I treated it with urine, and it was fine.
Did you have any emotional catharsis?
I'd have to look back. Well, I mean, I must have, but I've mentioned this before. I do this other method called the Dahlia Method, and I use that at least every 2 weeks. And so I would have been using that at the same time. And I'm pretty sure I would have done some work on this using that method in order to get the unconscious aspect of what was happening out at the same time. I could look up my notes, but that's, to me, that integration with the urine therapy, the body, and using a method that really accesses the unconscious, because then the healing happens so fast when you really work with all the layers of what's going on. At least that's my experience, and that's partially why I think the urine therapy is just so supportive of everything that's going on in the body, because it's not just the body, it's all the layers of the self, the koshas, if you want to use Ayurvedic language, the ethereal body, the pranic body, the physical body, the mental, emotional, the bliss body, all of that. It's so integrated in the frequency that the urine provides.
Say it goes through more than just the physical third dimensional bodysuit.
Yeah, I'd like to say that, I noticed a couple of years ago that I used to get these like terrible nightmares, and when I was drinking the Orin, I didn't. So I definitely felt a spiritual protection.
Wonderful, wonderful. Crystal, did you have anything that changed in your life, improved in your life, or any experiences that was related to your urine therapy?
Yeah, I did a fast this weekend of just urine, and I did drink some coconut water. I spent a lot of time outside. It's been really warm here. It's like 80 now. So I feel like it was very challenging this weekend. I was so hungry, and I was just sitting there and trying to get beneath like what that meant for me, like who is hungry, like, and just sitting with that feeling and seeing what would come up after that if I didn't utilize food to maybe suppress whatever is beneath the surface. So it was definitely a challenging weekend. And then yesterday, when I ate again, I realized my awareness kind of got an upgrade. I just feel so much more aware. And it was almost like how when I first started using Shavambu, it's like I started over again fell in love with it again. Not that I wasn't already in love, but it was like a reminder of like what it did to begin with. And it just like my awareness was so amazing. My mind, the thoughts that they just weren't coming as much, and I was able to meditate so much easier, and just like this heightened awareness of everything. And it's been really great. So I'm super excited to keep doing that monthly, and hopefully eventually I'd like to do it longer, but I know like I am really new to this, so I'm not going to try to push it super fast, because that's always what I do with things. And I was getting some detox symptoms while I was fasting, some symptoms that I used to get more when I was more symptomatic. So they started to kind of creep in, and yeah. But overall, yeah, I'm really grateful for that experience. And I've been just trying to utilize all the things more and do more topical, because that's, I guess, the thing that I do the least, which is funny because it's probably the easiest, but I'm all about just put it in every orifice instead, and I don't do as much topical application. So I've been upping that, and yeah.
Do you take baths, or are you a shower person?
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is I don't bathe very often. If I bathed more, then I think I would be doing it more. I don't know. That might be weird sounding, but
No. This is a personal matter.
well, I grew up with eczema, and so I couldn't really wash most of my skin, or it would be too dry. So I don't really have the habit of bathing daily like most people. So, and I definitely don't wash my hair very often. So today I did. So y'all, just for y'all, I showered and washed my hair.
Oh, okay. Well, good thing for you. This is not smell-o-vision. But what I do when I take a bath is I either bring the Shivambu in a container while the bath is filling up and just knock out 6 or 7 protocols. Massage the body, snort it, put it in your eyes, your ears, your head, everywhere. And then the rest of it gets into the bathtub and just soak into it.
Yeah, I definitely could do that more. I haven't taken a bath in a little while. Usually shower, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Not required. We don't do dogma here. So, anybody else want to share anything before we pop a book open?
Yeah, I've actually decided to finish my fast, so I did 15 days in the end. So when I saw you last, I still felt kind of clogged in my colon, but I think the next night it all shifted. I massaged my colon that night. I was, really sending lots of love and release feelings. And yeah, the next day it really shifted. And yeah, so then I stayed on another few days. And yeah, this morning I broke my fast because there was just too much going on that needs my energy now. And I was in quite a weakened state because I feel like I went really deep detox because I was on this sofa for about 10 days, just unable to move. And then the last, 5 days, I felt really good. And this morning I even did some real exercise, which felt amazing. So I feel like I've really, really shifted a lot in the last couple of weeks. A few weeks I was feeling very heavy and all sorts of symptoms, but now I feel really excited about getting fit now. I feel like I've got enough. I feel clean and released, and the energy is coming back. So I feel like I'm going to be able to start, getting in the cold water again and, doing whatever I need to do. So feel excited. Yeah. So I kept a diary and I did drawing every day, how I was feeling. But a lot of it was pretty heavy. So I'm not sure that anybody wanted to see them. But so now I think my drawings are probably going to be a lot more, especially coming into this time, the Piscean energy, a lot more vivid, colourful expression now. I can feel that coming. So yeah, it's great.
Wonderful,
That's-
wonderful. So, and you said
Oh, I forgot.
you're keeping a journey, right? A journal,
Yeah, totally.
Catherine?
I forgot to tell you, I got permission from the autistic young man that I work with to use urine on his foot.
No way, amazing.
I haven't done it yet, but I've got permission. So she has to collect the
Well
urine.
done.
Whose urine is going to be used?
Well, that's what she goes, well, whose urine? And I said, well, why don't we just use yours? And she goes, mine. And she goes, why can't we use his? And I'm like, well, we can, but how are you going to get it? Because I didn't think, he's 21 years old. I didn't know. She goes, oh no, I'll just stand there and hold the cup under it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So yeah, she's going to do that this week.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. I'd like to know how that goes.
Yeah, I'll let you all know.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's approximately 10:49 now, so we got a good hour worth of reading before we take a break. You guys bring a book?
Mine should be coming soon.
Michelle, I think I sent you the PDF.
Yeah, I've got it. I'm ready.
Oh, okay. Let's see if I got where we left off. Was on page 81. Page 81, section 8. Does that look about right? We're getting into the massages.
Do I have the PDF? Because if I do, I don't know it.
Well, do you have the book?
No.
You don't have the book?
You just sent it to me, so I should be getting it probably.
Oh, it should happen any day now. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Just pretend and follow along with everybody.
All right, I'll just pretend and follow on.
All right. I'm just going to start reading. I hope everybody knows where I'm reading from. Page 81, which is in the protocols. This one is called Orin Body Massage. All right. Megan's got it. Crystal's finding it. Crystal, did you figure it out? We're on the same page.
Sorry, what page are we doing?
In the book, it's page 81, which is the chapter on the protocols. Just past the ears, past the foot soak, past saturation dosing, which is chapter 7, page 81, section 8. And if you catch it, fine. If not, just soak it up. Pun intended. Here we go. Megan, I'm going to so love joking with you. This is going to be a lot of fun, but we'll see. Okay, here we go. An Orin body massage, including facials, scalp, head, feet, hands, and hair rubs, are very complementary to fasting and enemas as a treatment for skin disorders, diseased body parts, internal organs, wounds, and a rejuvenating whole body tonic. Orin makes a good substitute for soap. Take 30 to 60 minutes to receive or give you or give to another an Orin body massage for well-being. And thanks to having VJ in my life, I'm giving a lot of urine massages. I was always looking for a client. Now it's just like ready-made. It's been great. Go slowly and softly while massaging Orin toward the heart. Pay attention to massage the areas where the lymph glands are located. Send kind and loving thoughts and positive energy to the recipient. Allow at least an hour for the Orin to be absorbed. When Orin is absorbed into the skin, the odor of ammonia will be gone after a short period of time. Some call it outgassing. Page 82. Orin massages are easy to love and appreciate. It's worth it for the wonderful feeling of being healthy and invigorated. Scalp and hair massage as a general hair care substitute for shampoo and conditioner, dandruff, hair loss, baldness. Using fresh or evolving Orin, massage Orin bristly into scalp, allowing it to be absorbed 30 minutes to an hour or as long as possible. Then wash it out with lukewarm water. Get ready for clean, lustrous, and darker colored hair. Or if you want, you can leave it in all day. That's totally optional. By the way, I hope our World Water family figures out that the difference between fresh and evolving is the potency factor, and we don't have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what is the actual measurement of what is aged urine. I had this talk with Megan earlier. Guys are making it too complicated. How often should I drink it? As much as you can, as often as you can. Figure it out, guys. This is not rocket science. Remind your mind that you are giving and receiving a loving and nurturing massage using holy water, and that you're worth it. Here's the best Orin shampoo recipe going. Find it a size of a jar, pee in the bottle, apply it, massage it into your hair, thrive. How's that for a recipe? Pretty simple. Food post. On a healthy diet, dried Orin does not have an offensive odor. Food poisoning. Several research studies have shown that urea is a proven antibacterial agent. All these doctor guys, and Orin has been found to contain antibodies to food contaminants such as salmonella, and infected individuals, according to these guys, begin by taking 3 to 5 drops. Increased dosage is tolerated from a dropper full to an ounce or more. And this is a picture of Samuel G. Cohen, who's out there in South India. He's originally from England, but he went from India to Israel, and now he's down with his buddies in India again. I think he's in Goa. Your best health ever may be a mere change of mind and a willingness to trust the success of many who are drinking Orin through the nose and can testify to the many benefits and healings they're having. This is how to teach each other how to overcome the resistance or mind talk about this protocol. Meditate on nose drinking. Take a deep breath. Take baby steps. After dipping a finger in Orin, stick it up a nostril and sniff or snort it deeply. Repeat process in another nostril. Congratulate yourself. Then day by day, step up the quantity of Orin that you sniff until you are mentally ready to drink ounces of Orin through the nose. So you could use this cotton ball method for a sniffer. You could use a Q-tip to rub it in the inside of the nose and sniff it. You could use a fingertip. Get the idea? Whatever you can imagine getting soaked in it and putting in your nose. This is how people can start off with the nose drinking method. Drinking Orin through the nose. Samuel Cohen. Drinkingthroughthenose.com, which may or may not be online right now because he was having a problem with it. The practice of drinking through the nose protocol forms part of a unique way of life designed to awaken the brain, activate the third eye, pineal gland, and change the practitioner into a new being, a being who is way beyond what they have been known to be by the wider population. We have read about Taoists in India using the same method with Orin therapy. Yet it was Kelly Ross Saliba who had discovered this technique while in his bathroom in London in the year 2000. Now, over 20 years later, what has come to learn, Kelly Ross Saliba offers his teachings via drinkingthroughthenose.com. There's a picture of Kelly right there. Now, what Kelly got going is, and I'm going to read it, we're going to get to this part, but he discovered that Orin was not the only thing that you could drink in the nose. So he was drinking coconut water, carrot juice, green drinks, and wine. I'm sticking with the Orin, but that's good to know. So if you ever want to see what that's all about. The option of ingesting fresh or mature Orin opens up a whole dimension uncharted to any extensive degree. The combination of UT and his form of yoga meditation, Sahaja, raises the Kundalini in the individual, nourishes the nervous system, and awakens the chakras located within the spinal column in the Sushumna, our central channel. Once the Kundalini rises in a safe and secure manner, there is an opening of the third eye and a piercing of the Sahasrara. You probably know what that is, Megan. Only then can the adept truly drink through the nose. The nose drinking is both psychological and spiritual in equal measures. Mantras used during Orin therapy have facilitated our practice immensely, where we have now reached the ability to drink anything through our nose, provided it is from Mother Nature. Orin is the baby and was the first elixir we began with solely for 2 years up the nose. As our noses were blocked and mucus was being flushed out, we have to practice being comfortable with drinking any fluid at first. And this explains why people have that sting reaction when they first start to sniff it or snort it or drink it up the nose. It's the same when you're using the evolving Orin and you get that sting effect. because there's things in there that have been blocking the passageway, and it could be dried mucus, and it could be dehydration, it could be various things. So you keep stepping it up until you don't have that reaction anymore. Every person will need to practice patience when passing through this stage. To be conscious of Taoist lovemaking is a third way to activate the hormones. Pheromones and enzymes in our vehicles. The secretions we absorb when a man and a woman join in love union are super healing. It feeds and nourishes our nerves and brain, similar to drinking Orin, our specific juices, elixirs, tinctures, colloids, essences, whatever we choose, up the nose as a nasal drink. The man maintains the climax, avoiding the localized orgasm, while the woman learns to channel her orgasm. This cannot be underestimated. So it is with Orin therapy. Providing we are ingesting plenty of natural and nutritious raw foods, fruits, salads, veggies, and hemp seeds, our Orin will be a blessing for our beings on many levels. To simplify, just throw out Orin into a toilet when you pee. When our vehicles are to simply just throw out Orin, there you go, out when you pee, when our vehicles are quietly aging, dehydrating, literally drying out, is a shame. As a result, now what really got to me was the other day when I was at the hospital. You got to understand that VJ was on a catheter, and so all the urine is being collected in this bag on the side of his bed, right? So unbeknownst to the staff and the nurses there, we've been siphoning it off and feeding it back orally and topically to VJ, which has been part of his recovery. Well, the other day the nurse came in and she looked at the bag and says, "Oh yeah, we better siphon off some of those." So I'm gagging. She's like pouring it off and walking it into the toilet, into the bathroom. And Dara couldn't come up with something fast enough to get her to stop that process. So we're sitting there going, she didn't know. She didn't know. So it is with Orin therapy, providing we're ingesting plenty of natural fruits and vegetables. To simply just throw it in the toilet, I already read that part. As a result, the body has to remanufacture, which will be to put to use the self-healing and increasing one's well-being. Once we begin drinking Orin every day through the mouth and nose, including massaging Orin into our skin, our circulation heightens, skin appears and feels younger and smoother. Plus, our hair feels deeply nourished. It is when we learn to respect the Tao of lovemaking and look further into Sahaja yoga meditation do we see the genuine benefits it can truly offer. While currently being in Goa, India for 5 months, I have been blessed to learn yoga, asanas, fasting, and breath work. The combination of these three practices has been formidable pillars that have formed our already rich armory. These have enabled me to reach further heights and plateaus with meditation, silencing the mind, increasing healing powers, deepening and strengthening love for people, animals, self-love, clearing of family relationship issues, peaceful contemplation, achieving a calming presence, and an enhanced intelligence. Allowing the Holy Spirit to be my guide has been a continual source of nourishment and a way to stay centered. According to Samuel, it is impossible to get a cold when you constantly drink Orin through the nose. You can feel under the weather, but one drink up the nose, and any clouds start to evaporate. I take a cup with me everywhere. I have to go to the bathroom, I take it with me. Close the door, collect my water, drink it through the nose. You feel like a Superman. You're going to go into a phone booth and do something nobody knows, and it's a secret. Anybody else feel that way?
Yeah.
I find myself in the library bathroom. Nobody knows what I'm doing in there. I ain't going to tell them either. The elixir through the nose is a vital part of purifying one's waters, keeping you youthful, feeling protected and joyful and in bliss. We hope that you can embark on the special journey of self-discovery. Bon voyage, Samuel. Nasal wash works well with the use of a neti pot to flush nasal sinuses or nasal cavities. The intestines in the body contain a secondary set of sinus portals, and they are in charge of keeping the brain clean. Sinus problems, headaches, congestion are easily remedied with oral nasal flushes and navel soaks. Anybody get migraines, headaches?
Occasionally.
Occasionally. All right. Try the sniff method and see how things will change. That's one of my first go-tos. You got a headache, you got a migraine, I'll do the nasal drinking, do the enemas, I start doing reflexology on my feet, and that usually knocks it out in a couple hours. Other nasal methods that you will receive great benefit include sniffing from the palm of hand, sniffing soaked finger in each nostril, using a squirt bottle, kind of like one of these guys,
Oh, yeah.
or the syringe with the 10 or the 20 milliliters. Keeping them congestion are easily remedied with oral nasal flushes and nasal soaks. Other nasal methods that you'll receive great benefit include sniffing from the palm of the hand, soak finger, each nostril, use a squirting bottle or a small 3-ounce enema type rubber ball, which you guys have seen before. Some use this for enema, some people use it for children, some people use it for their own use. I'm going to skip over this part right here. The 6 types of nasal drinking. This is this one writer. He put it all together. You can read that when you get a chance. And let's go over to page 94. We've got about 45 minutes before we take a break. Would someone like to read about the nebulizers?
Sure.
Anybody?
Okay. Orin air purification with a nebulizer, handheld respirator, humidifier, or mister. This is the easiest and least expensive method to purify a room of any airborne particles, bacteria, or virus. Either dust off and clean your nebulizer, diffuser, or humidifier, or buy one. An alternative would be to be a clean quart-sized spray bottle. Demo of diffusing Orin with a diffuser. Fresh Orin, 1 to 3 days old, is a common age used for this protocol. Nebulizing, another way of saying misting, Orin in a nebulizer results in cleaner and more alive feeling air. Try a few drops of lemon or orange essential oil if Orin smells too pungent. Orin with distilled water. Turn the unit on. Enjoy a room made clean and fresh by your own water. Let it run for 2 to 6 hours before turning it off. If you can find a nebulizer that has light, like in this photo, enjoy the golden glow it casts. The golden glow is more profound when using full strength Orin.
Does anybody have one of these? Some kind of diffuser like for essential oils? Does it have a light in it? Well, what's really nice is when you have the aged Orin that has a deep yellow color, and this light is on and it starts to vibrate, and you see the colors start to come into the room. It's kind of like 60s disco, and you turn off all the lights, and this is all that you have in the room. It's a lot of fun.
Wow.
All right, Michelle, keep going.
There are small tabletop size respirators that work great with this protocol. Included with respirator is a tube with a mouthpiece and an optional plastic facial mask. Simply pour Orin in the chamber and cover the lid. This chamber holds approximately 1 ounce of fluid. Place lips firmly over the mouthpiece, turn on the nebulizer motor and inhale. To deliver your perfect medicine directly into the sinuses, master glands and brain, use the mask for inhaling nebulized Orin. Handheld air freshener. Consider this a possibility. Find or buy a 3 to 5 ounce glass bottle with a spray top. Fill with fresh or evolving Orin. Mist face, hands, skin conditions and eyes to refresh the mind, body during the long drives, walks in nature, for sunburn, while sitting in boring classes or lectures, or any times of stress like being in the public or on any public transportation. Keep a filled bottle in the car or backpack. Whenever the air feels stale or has unpleasant odours, use it as an air freshener, disinfectant to clean room or area of airborne pathogens, molds or viruses. Carry an Orin mist bottle in your purse or backpack when on the plane, bus, cab or train. Be sure to mist or spray the headrest and seat on both sides if possible. You are riding in to cleanse the pathogens left by untold passengers. If riding as a passenger for a long trip, you may wish to spray your bare feet or hands in order to stay relaxed and alert. until one gets in the habit of collecting some of their pee whilst using a public bathroom to disinfect and wash those precious hands after peeing. Using an Orin mist bottle works well. Spray on the face, hands and feet will nourish the body quickly as it wakes you up. Think stem cells, antibodies, and regeneration of the endocrine and nervous system. This is a great way when traveling through long periods of time to refresh both the body and mind, or using anywhere you are in the public or public transportation. Spray the Orin in the bathroom, you silly readers. Spray the Orin in the bathroom, you silly readers. Did you think I meant on headrests, seats and passengers? Does make one stop and think about actually doing this possibility.
Did you get that it was all made up scenario? That in another reality we could be spraying in a plane, in a bus, and a train. And I would do that. I don't know if you guys would have the
well, this is what you said. I don't think so. I think it'd take another reality for me at the time.
Well, so I think the joke is clear, and yet, again, with all the people that I've talked to now and the different ways that we in the larger group of people that I talked to about this, we now have a lot of people who are looping when they travel.
Mm-hmm.
And so on planes, one of the best things in the world, not that we've had that much time to do it in the last 2 years, but I started doing it. Brother Sage, I'm sure you have a story about this. It's just that when flying on a plane, if we're looping, the body is so self-contained, and all of that stress from everybody else and the environmental stress of being in a tin can up in the air and all of those things just reduces so significantly that then, of course, if you're looping when you go to the bathroom, however you do it, whether you have a thermos and you bring it back to your seat, or whether you just drink it in the bathroom and go back and forth, you're hydrated, you're aware, your vibration is higher, you're calmer, it calms everyone else down around you, and you're probably putting it all over your hands. And so, yes, when you get back to your seat, it's going to end up on the seats. It's going to, not that you're spraying, I haven't sprayed it all over everything in that sense every time I went to the bathroom, but people are starting to do this when they travel, and they're seeing a huge difference.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And while you're in the bathroom, you can take a massage. You can give yourself a little topical treatments in there. They're not going to know. Oh, by the way, always get a aisle seat, no window seat. You'll be crawling over people every 30 minutes. You might need it.
Yeah. But also at one time when I was flying, I had been sick for about 3 days, and I could tell I was on the downside. I wasn't infectious anymore, but I was incredibly run down. And I had to take a transatlantic flight for work. And I'd already started fasting so that I could help my body clear whatever it was fighting. But I got on the plane, I hadn't eaten for 24 hours, and I looped all the way to Europe. And so it was 48 hours by the time I ate again. And I obviously didn't eat a whole lot in the first 2 days, but the difference in my energy in the airports, normally if you're ill and you're trying to travel, you feel horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sort of sat. I found a spot to sit with my luggage, and I just sat and sat and sat and watched all these people, and I could see how frenetic they were. And I was so calm. And the only thing I got up to do was to go to the bathroom. And normally I would have walked around and looked at books and looked at food and found somewhere to get a hot drink and found somewhere to get lunch or whatever, but I would have been out of myself. I would have been focused outward. And I was so inwardly focused and so calm, even though I was getting over being sick. It was such a different experience.
And you weren't affected as much by the crowds.
No.
I noticed that when I was at the hot springs. I'm in this pool that's overcrowded. There's like 100 to 150 people in the pool. And I'd been looping the whole time. Don't tell anybody I peed in the pool, but I've been looping the whole time. And I was just enjoying being like a fish amongst all these colorful swimsuits and people. And I would find my way, navigate around them. And it was great to not be affected by them. But at some point I can feel the density of the room. I got to get out of here. It's just way too dense.
This is really awesome because I have to fly back to Alaska in June, and I was already worrying about it. And so now I'm like, I don't even have to worry about it. I can just, loop and put it all over my body and I'll be totally fine. Yeah.
You may want to be careful that you don't start looping when you're standing in line, because that may be longer than your bladder will allow.
Oh,
So
yeah, I
you
know.
want to time that right.
For sure.
So, any comments before we move a little further into the book? No. Good. All right. Dropper bottle filled with evolving urine. Evolving Orin, page 97. Everybody there? Does your energy dip during the day? Here's a proven protocol that will energize and calm you. Keep a closed dark amber or cobalt blue colored glass dropper bottle like the one I've shown you. Container filled with Orin in a purse or backpack. Gargle and swallow a dropper full or more anytime you feel the need to increase your energy or regain clarity of mind. This can be a lifesaver during the day. Plus, use this Orin for emergency situations. Drop and rub Orin on cuts, scratches, stings, rashes, bites, or sunburn. Orin injections. People don't talk about this a lot, but the folks are in a situation and they can't pee, or they're having a shock or heart attack, and you happen to have some with you. Oh, you happen to have a hypodermic needle. Then I would not hesitate to give them an Orin injection, because it goes in quicker than digestion through the mouth. So that's something to think about.
So this is for emergencies only, you're saying?
No, but this is something that people typically put off until emergency situations.
Does it matter where you inject it into? What's the best place?
Most people will put into a thick muscle like your thigh or your butt. However, some people, like if they needed to have stem cells put into a kneecap because their knee is in pain, will somehow find a entry point around the kneecap. And I've heard some doctors are putting it in the vein because it's blood in blood. So the thigh is the first place most people jab themselves. Answer your question?
What about in your, because I remember when I was doing vitamin B12 injections, you put it into the kind of the belly fat. What was the difference? You put it into the muscle or?
Yeah, good question. Megan, do you know how to answer that?
The difference between the belly versus the muscle?
Versus the thigh?
I don't know the difference. The thing that I'm thinking is that I know some vitamins are fat soluble, is what comes to mind. And then so putting it in belly fat versus putting it in muscle in the thigh would change what you're putting it into if the vitamin is more fat soluble versus going to work its way through. But that's the only thing that comes to mind. And I don't know if that's the answer or not.
B12 is not fat soluble.
Oh, okay. Then that wouldn't make any difference.
Actually, most of the time B12 is injected in your glute.
So yeah, why they would have put it there, I don't know.
Yeah. So that's where it mainly gets injected.
Yeah.
And so when you inject it in, you don't do it at an angle, you just actually direct it straight inwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've only ever had them given to me by someone. I've never injected myself with something. So that I would not feel like I'd get trained before I tried doing that, even to myself, because I wouldn't know where I was putting it. But yeah.
Good question, Michelle.
Yeah, sure. It's just strange that I was told to do it into my belly fat. Well.
It's hard for you to do it into your butt yourself. And it's going to be less painful there. Doesn't, yeah.
It's going to be less painful where?
On your belly.
Yeah, I felt happy with doing that.
Well, they just don't want you hitting a nerve.
Right.
So, yeah, it's like the safer area for someone who's
it felt safe. It felt easy. You know, if I was doing it in my thigh, I'd be a little bit more like, yeah, okay.
So do we need to be trained to do that, or can we just do it?
Well, you either learn it or you find someone who knows how to do it.
because I'd like to learn how to do that for sure.
Are there anybody who does B shots, B12 shots, or glutathione or vitamin C? Any of that? Do you know anybody like that in your town, Catherine?
Probably my functional doctor.
Okay, well, you could find somebody, or I don't know, you could self-teach yourself. There are
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I can teach myself.
there are
Yeah.
IV bars that have been springing up around the country where they do intravenous slow drip method of
Yeah.
vitamin B12, glutathione, vitamin C, whatever the nutrient is. And you might want to go, if there's one in your town, you might want to ask them if they know any independent practitioners who could help you.
Okay.
Totally different area of it, but some colonics places are set up in a way that they could do a flush with your own urine in their system, so that they could flush you first with the water, and then if their system is set up appropriately, they can add another liquid in, and so you could do a large amount of your own urine in your intestine for a colonics, and that's another way to have a huge amount go into your bloodstream.
That would be cool. You know where my mind is going though is that the urine injections with my autistic young man, to eventually get there. Because I really want to see what kind of
Progress?
progress or reactions or what, yeah, exactly. Because he's got huge verbal stim, this young man, and I'm just thinking maybe this can calm down his verbal stim.
Yeah, there's some research for you. Find someone who can do injections.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
All right, I'm going to read a little further about the injections here. Orin injections are usually reserved for life-threatening situations. There can be a lifesaver when drinking Orin is not possible or desired, especially useful when treating allergic reactions, shock, or anxiety. Many people report positive results in a very short time. Any cleansing reaction is short-term, from a day to a week. As the body purifies, be prepared for clients who demonstrate symptoms such as these: headaches, joint and muscle pain, body aches, sore throats, general malaise, sweating, chills, nausea, or other symptom type of reactions that may feel very intense. Be ready to face it and not panic or interrupt the process with any unnatural or human-made medicine. Orin injections will awaken the immune system and its warriors ready for fighting any disease. In case of emergencies when there is no time to lose, an injection with evolving Orin, the strongest effects have been noticed when using Orin that has evolved several months, can save a person's life. Maybe they should teach the lifeguards down at the beach. Keep that in their emergency kit. Your Orin is always your perfect medicine. It contains substances that your body doesn't need. They will aggravate the body, which causes the defense system to develop stronger antibodies for anything that would compromise or harm the body. Injecting Orin causes the body to go into a hyperactive healing mode, which forces it to heal and release toxins immediately. Direct injection of Orin into the bloodstream will bypass the stomach, digestion, and elimination systems. This makes it very potent. New research, which is bringing needed hope, reveals that Orin therapy can be beneficial under all of these conditions. It is recommended for clients to not use Orin therapy when using any type of drugs, medication, heavy smoking, tobacco, cannabis, drinking alcohol, or coffee. An American doctor, Dr. Hitt, who runs Orin therapy clinics in Mexico, has reported treating over 20,000 patients over a 2-year period with Orin therapy injections. If anybody knows if he's still around, if his practice is still in existence, I have no idea. These patients have included those diagnosed with cancer, asthma, heart, and other diseases, along with patients affected with severe alcoholism, drug, and smoking addictions. Dr. Hitt has great success with his clients with no side effects from using Orin injections for addictive disorders and also in combination with prescription drugs. Lab testing showed that the amount of drugs or contaminants passed into Orin was so infinitesimal that they pose no threat at all, and in fact appear to act as auto-vaccine agents which improve or cure these types of disorders. Results like these demonstrate Orin's effectiveness even when small quantities of Orin are taken in moderation to diluted form like in a homeopathic or a tincture form. In the book Urinalysis and Clinical Laboratory Practice from Miles Laboratories, the authors state that even in a case of severe mercury poisoning, the actual amount of mercury passed into the urine is infinitesimal. Teach your clients how to avoid heavy detox when with these types of conditions are present by starting with 1 to 5 drops up to a dropper full of Orin orally per day for 3 days. Increase the dose by 5 drops each day according to how well they are tolerating the therapy. Gradually increase the amount as needed to obtain results for an individual condition. Many people have asked about the efficacy of oral injections, and as you've seen, many of the research studies presented utilized injections of Orin as part of their therapy. Ironically, doctors are also using oral Orin or urea therapy in non-emergency cases with equally good results. Some patients receiving Orin injections have reported side effects of occasional redness and swelling at the site of the injection, which doesn't occur, of course, with oral therapy. Drinking Orin allows for a slower application and absorption, which can decrease any possible detox symptoms. Injections deliver an abrupt, forced introduction of nutritional substances into the body without allowing for the body's gradual adjustment to the substance. There really isn't any need for this sudden force of Orin into the body unless there is an emergency situation that requires it, like anaphylactic shock, wasp sting, heart attack. I added that. That's why you don't see it. Orin injections work fine if you are comfortable giving them to yourself or to others, or you can consult a health expert to administer this for you. And this is a quote from one of my local students, Grace Purcell. My faith is strong in UT because in addition to the books and research I've read, has improved my overall health. I was able to get off all prescription medication. My skin and eyes have benefited greatly from morning wash rubs, and I know it is protecting me from harmful environmental toxins as well. Any questions, any comments? So if you decide to do Orin injections, great. If you decided not to do Orin injections, great. That's not going to slow down your healing and the benefits from oral and topical. However, knowing this may come in handy for someone else someday. That's why there's protocols in here that you may not resonate with, but other people will. All right, let's go into goggles. And then we're going to, at 11:45, we're going to take a break. You guys have swimmer's goggles? She happens to have it by her bedside. Look at this girl. Crystal's doing her yoga.
I have them somewhere. I actually have to get off the call in 5 minutes, just so y'all know. So
Okay, so the picture you see there is Joseph. He goes by the name of George Johnson. That's not his real name. But he's the guy who lost his legs. He's out in Montana, and Matt Sena went over to live with him for a while. Great-hearted soul. So this is his article about using goggles, and you simply, a shortened version is just fill these puppies up, push them against your eyes, create the suction, blink, 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 and then secure it over your head and hold it for as long as you feel like you want to hold it. Then you take it off and just wipe everything on your face when it drips off.
And that's if your pee that day doesn't sting.
Are you saying if in case it doesn't sting?
Well, sometimes mine does if I put it in my eyes. Then other days it doesn't.
Okay, is this fresh or evolving?
Fresh.
Okay, well, you can always water it down a little bit if you want to. If it's uncomfortable, some people go, well, if it stings, it's meant to help. So it's, however you want to view it.
Okay.
So this will help like floaters that you have in your eyes?
Floaters.
'Cause I have them. Yeah.
Cataracts, glaucoma, night blindness, vision challenges.
Wow, night blindness. Whoa.
Anything we
Okay.
want to do is get it into the cornea, get it into the iris. We want to get it down to the veins. We want to get whatever nourishes the eye, nutrition, so it can heal itself.
I guess it'll help puffy eyes too then probably, huh?
Puffy eyes.
Cool.
Now, I'd also put it on the liver because the liver is connected to vision and skin. So I'd be doing a little compress on the liver as well if you got eye issues.
Oh, yeah. Of aged, right? Aged Orin on the compress.
The compress, gauze pad, washcloth,
Yeah.
whatever you can imagine. Yeah, that seems to come up in conversation a lot. I should use evolving, shouldn't I? I should use the age stuff, shouldn't I? Well, if you got it. Not everybody has past 3 days. So whatever you got. And more people are realizing that keeping it around in your house or keeping it around in your bedroom or keeping it wherever you keep it is building momentum and potency in the medicine.
Got a
And
whole
I'm-
cupboard now.
Say it again.
I've got a whole cupboard now.
Yeah, me too. I have a whole closet.
Yeah, it's what we refer to as her water closet. There is a pun in there for Megan. So, yeah, it's interesting. I brought that up because there are people who still have to get through that misperception that the word aged and aging does not mean it's deteriorating, getting sick, and losing vitality. That's why I started
Evolving.
using the word evolving. What, Catherine?
Evolving, yeah.
I think
Evolving.
evolving is a fantastic word for it.
There's a discussion just from this past weekend with Monica Schutt and on the Philosopher's Stone, the Plasma Gans Philosopher's Stone urine therapy Facebook page, which you need to be invited to get into. So if you aren't in it and you want to be in it, you can be. But she posted a video, and she and her husband and the other guy, they're talking about aged urine and using the word evolved, and they're going, oh, we really have to use the word evolved. We can't use aged. We need better words. There's even evolved isn't good enough. And then they start saying things like it's purified, it's perfected, it's upgraded, it's innocent plasma. And they're having the best time with this discussion. So again, it's like they're not, on the one hand, like we want to give it a great name and we want to make sure people understand how wonderful it is, but it's also still that playfulness and fun around.
Yeah,
what
I
we're
saw
doing.
that. It was so good. She's got such good vibes. It's amazing.
Yeah, and the other word that she uses is maturing. Bye, Crystal. Crystal went bye-bye. So, any questions so far? 12:30 to 1. All right, we've got an hour and a half. We could keep going for another 15 minutes and take a break, or would you guys like to take a break now?
I'm okay.
You want to take a break?
I don't mind. I'm okay.
All right. I was going to say ladies' choice, but that would be ironic being the only guy here. All right.
Suggested to Elliot's mom, Laura,
This meeting is being recorded.
the autistic boy's mom, because she'd probably be on board, I'll bet.
Well, one thing you can do is put that on your website or put it on your menu when people walk in and they look at the
What,
menu.
your massages?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We offer deep tissue. We offer Swedish massage. We offer lymphatic drainage, sports injury. Oh, and urine therapy.
Good idea.
Someone's got to start it.
I agree.
I mean, what's interesting is what seems so natural and second nature now seems like it's a total another world for other people.
Yeah, see, I don't even want to use the oil on my skin anymore because I just doesn't feel natural enough to me.
Oh, it doesn't.
Yeah, so
And
true.
how many of you have given up shampoo, conditioner, underarm deodorant, any kind of body products?
Totally.
You can get rid of a lot.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can redirect that money into something you love, something else.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Anything you want to say before we get started? All right, this is a new protocol. By the way, I came up with a new protocol at the hot springs. It's not in any of the books. Did I show you the new protocol? All right, let's go off menu. Let's go off road here. All right, this menu, this little guy jumped out at me. I had it in my room the whole time. I didn't think, well, maybe it has another purpose.
Oh yeah, this is what I really want.
Oh, this is so simple, Michelle. It's gotta be some kind of cotton or some kind of material that's porous that it can absorb.
Crazy. It's exactly what I was imagining last week. Like I was like, this is what I need. I was lying in bed and thinking, I just need those like kind of material and soak them before I go to bed.
Well, see how like minds are.
Yeah.
Do you have one of these?
No, but I'm going to Lisbon tomorrow, so I'll definitely get them and some goggles.
Okay, now some of these on the market have, I don't know, something like wax or plastic over it, but you need something that'll hold the
Yeah.
urine. It's got to be a touchy-feely thing.
Yeah, sure.
So do you soak that in urine?
Oh yeah, I did. I had my whole supply all the way to 3 and 4-year-olds with me at the hot springs. So what did I?
Wow, cool.
I soaked it up, put it over my eyes, laid down in bed. An hour later, took it off.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. Okay. I have
It's
to get
not-
one first.
It's not in any of the books, so this is number 26, 25. All right, you know what this is?
Tongue scraper.
A tongue scraper, also known as a tongue cleaner, where you get these free from your dentist. You probably can go to a pharmacy and they go, here, have one. You got bad breath. Here, have one. So that's a tongue scraper. Let's see what I wrote about it here. Page 104, if anybody's following along here. The use of a tongue cleaner that you can get from your dentist or pharmacy. Tongue cleaning is the activity of dragging a tongue cleaner dipped in Orin across the tongue. This protocol supports oral health, oral hygiene, as it cleans off the coating that has been growing for who knows how long on the tongue. The tongue collects microorganisms and oral debris consisting of food, saliva, dead skin, cells, etc. The tongue surface can store tooth and gum pathogens. Tongue cleaning with Orin restores oral health, which directly restores blood and cellular health by way of the mucosa and by way of swallowing. This protocol removes the layer of contaminants that coats the tongue. Repeat when coating returns or mouth feels nasty and you have bad breath. A living foods and fruitarian diet eliminates most of the oral health concerns. Dip tongue cleaner into fresh Orin. Scrape tongue with a pulling downward motion toward tip of tongue several times until you feel complete, or until the tongue looks pink and clean. Rinse mouth with fresh Orin or water. Spitting it out is optional. Any questions? Pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Belly button. This has been a whole lot of fun for a whole lot of people since we started producing instructional videos and stuff. You got tons of these. You guys know the difference between the conventional and the organic cotton balls?
No.
Look for the organic ones. They don't have any artificial nonsense in it. And
Where do you get them?
Well, I got this at a grocery store called King Supers.
Oh.
They might probably have them at Safeway. They probably have them at health food stores for sure. But these are the organic ones.
Okay.
And you're going to use this for all kinds of stuff, not just your belly button.
Can we go back a little to the tongue scraper one?
Yeah.
for a minute.
Yeah. Yes.
I had to think about that. So I use a white one, a long one. You just go like this and scrape. Same thing, but I use it. But I always have a coating on my tongue. And since I've had the microbiome stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I was told that I have candida, and so, but I've noticed that it's a lot better than it used to be, and the taste in my mouth, I always had a metally taste in my mouth ever since my microbiome got screwed up. That I'm just wondering if maybe the scraping tongue scraper, you said dipped in
Yeah, I'll show you.
in urine, because it won't stay on there.
There's still some on there.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
And some people have these where it's just a straight piece of material. It doesn't have the circle around it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
And then it said diet is really important too, as far as raw foods. So, and I haven't graduated to that yet. I'm still eating some cooked food. So I imagine eventually, yeah, once I do, it'll probably make it a lot better. I'm just trying to figure this out with my own health.
Getting to the raw food thing, now I started in 1977. I left the American diet and went cold turkey. Gave it all up. Went right into the fasting, the carrot juice. We were young hippies back in the day, and we thought more is better. So I was up to 12 ounces of wheatgrass juice a day. Woo! That's a lot.
Wow.
So I was constantly cleaning out the American diet and all the drugs I did and everything that was in my body.
Yeah.
But years later, I discovered that it was a matter of changing your assemblage point. You might have heard this term before, Megan. It's how you've created your assemblage point or your association with what you consider food. So if your mind moves to understanding that a vital food with a vital life force, with water, with enzymes, with vitality, with chlorophyll, is real food for your body, then you just a matter of making the shift in your understanding of what you always considered food. It's an internal shift.
Psychological shift.
Yeah, well, the name of the game is reclaiming your mind and everything that passes through it.
I was just going to say, oh, sorry.
Okay.
Please.
When the story about like when I stopped eating wheat, part of what I realized when I ate the wheat and I had the huge symptoms after 8 weeks of not eating it was then to me, it was no longer a food. So when I stopped eating it, if I went to a bakery or I went to a store and there were things with wheat in it, they no longer represented food to me. And so it's not just going, I'm not going to eat that, because I can say that about candy bars. I'm not going to blow up and have cramps if I eat a candy bar that has no wheat in it. So it's not just about saying I'm denying myself that. I don't deny myself wheat. It's that it's not food. It doesn't nourish me. It doesn't help my body. And so that was a huge shift for me to see it. And that's what I hear in part of what you're saying is like, it's that this is not food. And there are certain things that we just stop seeing as food.
Right. And the other side,
time. Go ahead.
The other part of that equation is, what have you been giving yourself that you have in your mind? Convince yourself that that's comfort food. It's an act of love. Well, I give myself, because when I was sick and we used the sick card from school to come home, Mom would feed me eggs and toast and God knows what. And it was Mom's love that healed me. I don't even know if the food was a factor or not. But what if you get to the point, and I've been playing with it, and it's quite easy to do. This is your reward. Fruit is your reward. At the end of the day, you've accomplished everything. You did what you did. And there's our part that wants to feed our inner child and go, well, I deserve to have whatever that is. So if you change what's on that list, fruit, juice, sprouts, a foot massage, Orin, whatever it is, and you change your responses to how you would normally want to reward yourself, that's a game changer.
I think part of the problem for me is because I lost so much weight. I'm trying to gain some back. And so I'm like, well, I got to eat food to gain it back. But maybe,
that's
I don't know. I know it's all a thought. It's all, it's a matter of changing my thinking. I get that. I'm just, yeah, I'm not sure how to go into that and make that happen. Yeah.
All right. Well, you and I can have that talk. In the meantime, I suggest you watch videos by breatharians and fruitarians who lift weights.
I've listened to a couple of them. Yeah, I'm connected to a Sophia one. She's a breatharian. Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah.
And Ella Tommy's always flexing his muscles.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Michelle, what were you going to say?
Oh yeah, I guess you kind of answered it really, like the pure absolute thought decisiveness of how you want to change your body or how your body is. But yeah, I was just saying, well, yeah, how do people put on weight if they're having a live food vegan diet?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Some people decide in their mind that they need more plant fats, so they'll have nuts or they'll have avocados or they'll have things that they, in their mind, thinks, well, it's going to add more nutrients of the oil and of the fat, and so that will increase the energy and allow me to build more muscle. I haven't quite got that part down, but I notice that people who don't necessarily eat protein sources, amino acid sources, and do protein drinks are still putting on muscle, putting on weight. Megan, do you have a suggestion for our sisters here to gain some weight? Not that you want to gain weight, but they might.
It's there's a lot of people who've been talking about this. I mean, recently, because there are people in some of the communities that I'm part of who are finding the same thing, that it's the weight, that they've always had trouble putting on the weight. And in Ayurveda, there's just a lot that talks about your body's constitution. Like, what is your constitution? What, are you more air and fire or water and earth? And how does that affect what you're eating and your digestion, and whether your body likes to hold on to things or whether your body is really easy to say, sure, I'll let go of that, because everyone's constitution is different. And then if your constitution is in balance versus out of balance, so I find Ayurveda is very helpful as a way to talk about it. But the thing that comes to mind more than how do I put on weight, it's that sense of, what is my relationship right now to what I'm eating and the balance that I currently have in my life and my body around food? Because that has to be balanced before we can completely shift into a new, I mean, I think anybody can shift anything in a moment. Any one of us can become enlightened in a moment if we're willing to drop all of our attachments in the grocery store. We can do it right there. But most of us don't. So let's assume, if we're not able to do that quite yet, that then it's a process. And like, it's taken me, I didn't even know this was going to happen, that my body would stop asking for so much food and that my weight would stay stable, even though I eat much less food. But that's taken what, like 8 years to really get into understanding it differently. And Monica Schutt talks about how she's been doing this for 24 years and for 25 years now. And she has gone back and forth numerous times, eating cooked food, going back to fruitarian, going back to raw vegan and some fruit, going back to it's this ebb and flow of, you do something and you try it out and then you integrate it. And then maybe you add a few things back in. It doesn't have to be regressing, but you add a few things back and you go, oh, this is how I feel now when I eat these. That's interesting. This is what my body does when I eat these. That's interesting. Now what happens if I try that again? Now what does my body feel like and look like? But it's not I have to force myself to shift tomorrow or I've failed.
I know one thing is that beating myself up about it does not help.
No, exactly.
So I've got to find a different way to handle it or look into it, and bringing acceptance, I know is important, acceptance for where I'm at in this moment right now. And then look at where I want to go. Because I want to be vegan. I want to be raw, that's what I want.
I still eat cooked food.
Pardon me?
I still eat cooked food. I'm not off of all of it.
Right. But do you want to be off of it or not necessarily?
I think of it more as I want to follow what my body is, and my body and my deeper knowing is asking me to do.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Without the rules.
Without the rules. Yeah, I like that actually.
And some days too, there's something that happens, and to Brother Sage's point about comfort food, even that, like
potato chip, that's my comfort food.
But like my idea of comfort food has changed so much that I'll still eat something that maybe someone else would tell me is not ideal,
Exactly,
but
exactly.
it's so different than what I would have eaten 5 years ago or 10 years ago for comfort food.
That's
And
true.
I see the difference in me. It doesn't matter if they see the difference.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's helpful.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll eat something that I would normally not eat. It's not part of my regime. Well, I'll eat it to notice the effects of it. And then it was all over. I go, oh, yeah, so that's what that's all about.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. That makes
Not
sense.
something that's being built into the routine.
Like my mother baked cookies last week, and I very happily ate 3 little cookies hot out of the oven. They were hot and soft
Mm.
and had, soft chocolate in them. And I thoroughly enjoyed those.
There you go. Yeah.
But I didn't want to eat the rest of them. We gave away as many as we could after that.
Hmm. Okay, that's helpful. Thanks.
There's also the situation where you go to an ashram and the prasad has been blessed by the guru, and it's something you wouldn't normally eat, but know the vibe was right. So this is me. It's like taking communion at a church. You're not even using your mind to figure it out. You're going, it's a holy water, a holy food, a holy meal. Yes, let's have some.
Well, yeah, like the monks, the people bring food to them, and they feel like it's, it's their responsibility or their, gratitude to eat whatever is given to them, no matter where, whether they agree with it or not. And I
Yeah.
think that's really interesting.
Yes, and that demonstrates that we're more powerful than food.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
There was a study done a long time ago, just last thought, and it was comparing people who had very low availability to food, who would sometimes get food from dumpsters or stores that were giving away the stuff that was out of date or going to go bad or whatever. And they would just eat whatever they could get their hands on, versus people who had access to the highest quality, the highest everything, but they were in diet mode, or they were thinking all food was bad for them. They were punishing themselves mentally for eating. And the people who were grateful for the food, regardless of what it was, got more nutrients out of the food than the people who were not grateful for it and were upset that they had to eat it, or that they felt burdened by it.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Gee.
That's amazing.
And there's one more thing I would add to that. You might have heard of stories about men and women. They live to be in their 90s. They drink whiskey. They smoke cigars. They eat meat.
Yes, yes,
They got
exactly.
a pissy
Uh-huh.
attitude, but it keeps them in the game.
It's true.
I mean, that doesn't make sense for someone who's trying to approach it through their diet and through nutrition.
My grandmother drank gin and tonics and she made it to 102.
Wow.
Yeah,
Never changed her diet, didn't do much exercise, but
there's genetics. There's also karma. There's also destiny. There's other factors.
Hmm.
Breathe. Come on, do the breathing thing. If you're not already doing 30 or more connected breaths every day, start today. You'll notice it changes you in that time period you're doing the 30 connected breaths. Just remember this: whenever you're nervous and scared and anxious and confused and stuck, you're in what's called no movement. So you can access wisdom, knowledge, answers, creativity, and the way out of it is to breathe. And when you're in it, you're not breathing, or you wouldn't be in that situation. So get in the habit of preventative stuckness by be more mindful of your breath throughout the day, particularly when you're around shallow breathers. I do it so much people think I'm bored. I go, no, I just need to have some more breath around me. So make that a habit. Any question before we go into belly buttons?
Nope, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Life will keep teaching you if you're paying attention. Page 105. 105, belly button. Perhaps you might have thought, why would we put Orin in a belly button? Our belly button, some call the nabi, is an amazing gift that our Creator has given us. According to science, the first part that takes form after conception is the navel. After it is created, it joins the mother's placenta through the umbilical cord. Our navel is an amazing thing. All our veins are connected to our navel, which makes it the focal point of our body. Why do you think they call that the core? The belly button is life itself, your center. The pachadi is the bit that's left over after the umbilicus has been cut at birth, is behind the navel, which has more than, you ready for this, 72,000 veins are running through the core of your body. The total amount of blood vessels we have in our body is equal to double the circumference of the earth. That's only one human. Isn't that mind-blowing?
Mhm.
Well, it seems that in Ayurveda, the belly button is used as a portal to deliver nutrients or medicines into the body. Now we know that all humans have a belly button unless you were born with an umbilical hernia and had to have it surgically repaired, leaving you without the navel. But not every mammal has belly buttons. Kangaroos and platypuses are without a belly button, but dolphins are not. Belly buttons accumulate a lot of bugs. Some 2,400 different species have been found lurking in the navel, and everyone's belly button bugs are a different composition. Isn't this fun to talk about? Navel lint is a gross mixture of fibers, hair, and dead skin cells. You may be wondering, how's a belly button so powerful? It's all about location, location, location. The belly button is near the center of your abdomen and around your center of gravity, known as the third chakra or the core. It sits over your intestines and the major lymph nodes and blood vessels, and it's near your vagus nerve, which is responsible for the rest and digestion functions of the body. Unlike the rest of the abdomen, there's little or no muscle behind the navel, which makes it the perfect access point to your belly. The rest of your body connects to the belly button by facial trains, which cross right near it. It's also the entry point for the major energy center in your lower abdomen. Navels are very important reflexology points that stimulate the whole body. So how can you harness the power of your belly button? We have known that to lower the temperature for babies, we put a cotton swab with alcohol in the navel. Now we know that with Orin, it's healthier, safer, and better. And maybe the baby won't get drunk. Your navel can detect which veins have dried up, and by putting on Orin, those nerves open them. Applying Orin in the navel heals the dryness of the eyes, poor vision, pancreas, heals chapped lips, keeps the face bright, the hair healthier, knee pain, chills, lethargy, pain in the joints, and dry skin. Apply Orin to your belly button. How long is the belly button chapter? Oh, we're going to get into evolving. Okay. Belly button healing. And there's a video if you guys ever want to go there. Eliminate stubborn pimples and acne. Achieve a glowing face. Hydrate and moisten dry, chapped lips. Keep your intestines moving while removing only harmful bacteria and keeping the good. Orin actually works as a mild detox. Improves fertility, works wonders for a cold, flu, and runny nose. When a baby has stomach pain, put a few drops directly in the navel and give a gentle massage around the navel a few minutes. The pain will be gone shortly. Ease menstrual pain, cramps. Reduce all types of joint pains, itises. It can strengthen bones. Parents use UT on their children every night at bedtime. Relieves upset stomach, bloating, nausea, digestive problems. Improves blood flow to the nervous system. And also helps enhance the immunity system. Heals constipation, builds a strong digestive system. Relaxes arteries, veins, lowering blood pressure and stress to the heart. Also helps strengthen and tone the heart muscles. As a diuretic, Orin removes excess water, salt, and toxins, overweight, blood pressure, and digestion. Number 13, it is an expectorant that removes mucus from the airways and lungs. Orin is effective in treating bronchitis, whooping cough, upper respiratory inflammation. Number 14, which I just added, is great for treating allergic reactions. If you have your book and you want to add that. At night before bed, apply 3 drops of Orin in your navel and spread it 1.5 inches around your navel. An Orin-soaked cotton ball can be placed in the navel with a washcloth over it as a method to slowly drip Orin into the bloodstream while sleeping. Remember, Orin is a powerful compound and safe to use directly on the skin, as this does not cause sensitization and irritation. It does not have to be diluted unless a rapid detox would be of concern, by a client or a therapist. Try this for tremors, strokes, lethargy, spaciness, equilibrium or dizziness concerns, depression, inflation, and dry skin. And it might be also just another practice of putting your attention, your focus back on your core, back on your center.
It's so cool. That's blown my mind. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Can't wait to do it. You just have it on you all the time. This little cotton wool ball in your belly button at all times.
Yes, maybe one of you will invent the belly button harness.
Yes, that's what I was sitting there thinking. Wonder what's the best way to do that.
Work on that, Michelle, and tell us what you find.
Yeah.
That'd be a whole lot of fun. All right, we still got 45 minutes. Evolving Orin, the Evolutionary Urine Theory by Brother Sage. Keep in mind that Orin contains information and memory of our perfect health and perfect cells. I added that word. As the body's health becomes challenged or compromised, it does a systems check and self-diagnostics to restore perfect health and balance. Imagine what we can learn from drinking Evolving Orin. Here's another paradigm-shifting term to tickle your mind. The terms evolved and evolving have replaced the terms aged and aging. By the way, I made that up, and it got universally accepted, so I guess it must be a good word. Evolving and evolutionary have replaced the terms aged and aging previously used in describing maturing Orin, the term made popular by Monica Shute. Evolution by its very nature is a continuum of growing, learning, and making discoveries. Orin, like humanity, evolves forever from the moment it arrives and it is collected. Evolution, as described by Webster's Dictionary, is a process of gradual, peaceful, progressive change or development. Do the words aged and aging bring comfort to your mind or make you feel uneasy in the body? Aged and aging are words or symbols that we associate with the loss of strength, health, and vitality. Discussing aging brings up images of old people who are sick, hurting, memory loss, and are dying. Now, you can see why I was motivated to change the terms. It's our association. This explains why people feel disgust and taken back when it's suggested they include drinking or applying aged Orin in their UT practices. Try this when you're talking or writing about aged urine. Hey Lisa, I'm so glad that you're getting results from drinking your fresh urine. You may wish to try a more potent version of Orin. Brother Sage, the Shivamba guru, says that evolved Orin is an evolutionary idea. According to his theory, every second your Orin is outside of your body and sits in a container, it is increasing in potency, life force, or Shakti, and frequency. All collected Orin comes already activated and immediately becomes enhanced and amplified, which is the evolutionary power of our water of life. Are you drinking common wine, or will you try the ultra-refined wine of goddesses and gods? You can tell I have fun writing books. Evolutionary Orin for the next generation. You may wish to start a client off slowly in making the change or transition to using Evolving Orin. So I'm going to leave the reading of Monica's article to you guys, just for the sake of being able to get through these protocols in the next 3 classes. But let's go to the bath. Let's go to the Orin bath, page 120, and I got a chance to do Orin baths for 3 days in a row this last weekend. But just by the way, you don't need to have 8 to 10 gallons of collected Orin. That's the question that comes up for people. When am I going to have 8 to 10 gallons to sufficiently fill up the tub so I can submerge my body in the Orin? Well, it's really simple. Use what you got, add water. Do what you can. So collect a gallon or more of Orin and prepare a bath with as hot a water as you can stand or relax into comfortably. Be prepared to stay in the tub for 30 minutes. Using another jar or Orin, rub the skin while in the Orin bath. Here's a simple way to knock out several protocols at once, and I described this earlier. Do this while filling up the bathtub. Be sure to bring some collected Orin in a container or collect some on the spot. Stand in the bath water as the bath is filling up. Take the container of the water and start drinking, gargling, swishing, pulling, and swallowing. Pour some over each side of both of the eyes into the ears. Do Orin nose drinking, either with the jar, palm of the hand, sniffing, snorting, or whatever. Thoroughly massage or rub Orin into hair and scalp. Give yourself a good UT body rub all over the body as best you can. Be sure to apply Orin to the navel and any skin conditions or wounds that could use healing. Then soak and meditate in bath water with any leftover Orin either poured over your head and shoulders or any method you can imagine. You can rinse off after taking a bath or leave it on and let it dry. That familiar pee smell evaporates. Any questions about a bath? Anybody going to try that?
Well, my one of my issues is that I share a bath with other people in the house, so it's like you do too.
I do too.
So
So
I guess I would not want to use aged because it would leave the bathroom smelling like aged,
in the
but
hallway,
or evolved.
up and
Let's say
back.
evolved. I'm going to try to say evolved. But so maybe, and you can't collect it and enough fresh urine to really make a difference, right? I have tons of aged. I mean, evolved. I can't get used to it. So that's my issue is that I don't. I guess I don't know. I don't know. I want to do it, but I don't want to cross boundaries like that.
Yeah, I crossed the boundary when the smell got down the hallway and went into the bedrooms and it was in all over the place. So,
Exactly right.
and I thought if I used Dr. Bronner's soap, that would be enough to take the smell out. And I had to learn that I'd use like Clorox or something more intense to do that. So I either have to do this where there's 2 days after that takes place, so the air in the room cleans up, or
Yes.
take it outside.
Yeah, and outside's not a bad idea. I can't really bathe outside, but I could use a container and just douse my whole body in it. That's a good idea. Yeah.
If you have the kind of backyard like I do, you can strip down naked in the backyard and thoroughly give yourself a massage and let the sun dry it. If you don't have
Yeah.
that, if you don't have that, a swimsuit works just fine.
It's pretty secluded here, actually. It's just a small backyard, but I've got people coming in and out, so I probably wouldn't be naked, but I could wear some swimming suit or something. Yeah.
Yeah, something really skimpy.
Yeah.
And then some people might even use a kiddie pool.
Oh, yeah. That would be good. Yeah.
You know, one of those blue rubber things that just sits there in the water. You don't inflate it; it just sits there.
Yeah, they're plastic. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
That'd be perfect.
use your imagination; you'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Anything else about the bath? Let us continue. Skin conditions, page 121. The external application of Orin to the skin allows hormones and nutrients to be reabsorbed by the body without being destroyed. Massaging with Orin is therefore an important complementary component in Orin therapy as it is directly absorbed into the tissues. Orin is ideal for health since it detoxifies the body, strengthens the immune system, calms the nervous system, helps reduce weight by aiding digestion and elimination, reduces inflammation, cleanses the urinary tract, reduces a headache if you drink 1 to 8 ounces a cup first thing in the morning, or on the onset of a headache, and healing other conditions that you will soon know. Orin is best known as a drink, but there are dozens of useful ways to use it in your daily life. It is also one of the most effective natural ingredients for healthy skin-related problems. The liver, by the way, is the organ responsible for the health or lack of health of the skin. Combining drinking pee with topical application restores both liver and skin health. Urea, a substance found in Orin, is one of the main reasons why it is often an ingredient found in a variety of creams, peels, lotions, and other made at home or bought in the store products. You know about that, right? Urea. However, they're clever marketers. They know that they could hide it under a different word and nobody would know, and that word is carbamide. So if you see that on the label, you know it's really urea. Applying fresh Orin on the skin before bedtime makes the face look healthier and younger. Using a cotton ball, washcloth, hand, apply WE on your face, and in the morning you will notice incredible results. Soon, you'll stop using face cream or any unnatural facial products. Pea is a natural product that darkens, restores hair color, making it thicker, shinier. Many report that their hair looks better than when they were younger. Orin improves and nourishes the hair and scalp. as you can tell by my hair and Megan's hair, our hair seems to hold its dark natural color. Try that, girl.
I've heard other people on the like I'm on a urine therapy, group. A couple of them I'm on, but a couple of them say, well, they've been using it for years and their hair has never, it's never gone brown. So
Yeah,
I'm just
well,
wondering what the difference is.
you have to start digging into their lifestyle, find out what their diet's like and some other factors.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus how well they handle stress.
Mm-hmm.
Because you probably know by now that stress is leaches nutrients out of the body.
I sure do.
We all have personal experience of that. I don't even have to describe that.
Yeah. Right.
You guys know this stuff. All right. It's a wonderful remedy for face. I don't know if I skipped it, but that's okay. It's a wonderful remedy for facial skin problems such as blackheads, dark spots, pigment spots, dried or cracked skin, acne, and capillary bursts. You know, capillary bursts. All of a sudden, you have a little discolored purple something on your skin. It's usually
Yeah.
people over 50. Well,
I get those.
okay,
Yeah.
put on your evolving Orin, and in 4 days, it's healed.
I have been, and it does heal quick. I also have a bruise that I had just a few days ago, and it's almost gone. It's just like, wow, that's really weird that it's healed that quickly. It was a pretty big bruise too.
Yeah, and it just keeps confirming what you know is right.
It
Every time
does.
you have a healing, you go, well, that's why I use this stuff.
Yeah, it really does.
It's amazing. Reminder, applying Orin on the face or any skin surface still delivers its vital nutrients, page 124, from the tissues of the bloodstream. Anywhere you apply Orin on the body or drink it delivers nutrients everywhere in the body. I'll repeat that in case you missed it. Anywhere you put it on the body delivers it everywhere throughout the body. In a cold atmosphere, the lips may dry out. To treat dried, infected, or chapped lips, apply Orin on the lips anytime or before bedtime to further increase hydration and heal. Also, for the folks that have been getting the dried mucus inside the eye ducts, all in through here,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, put a little Orin in there at bedtime. Okay, she's nodding. She's not going to comment. All right, that's cool.
Oh, I have a friend who put age just over the eye. And for like she kept doing it, but for about a month, every day, she had mucus coming out of her eyes.
What?
And I said, mucus? And she said, yeah, it's like green.
Stop it.
Yeah.
So a month later,
And then it stopped.
amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
So what was she doing? She was putting aged urine on her eye.
Just rubbing it, just like she was on her forehead, over her eye. That was it. She wasn't trying to rub it in. She wasn't trying to soak it. It was just that much.
Hmm.
So I'm glad you said that. I was thinking of like doing a whole aged urine soak on my eyes.
Well, no. Go ahead. I've been doing this for 8 years. It's never happened to me.
Wow.
It's not a story that says
In
don't
your
do it.
eye? You put the aged in your eye.
No, she was just putting it on.
But you
on
did.
outside.
You
I've been putting it on my eyes, just like Brother Sage is doing right now. Like I do that every single day. I've never had mucus come out of my eyes. The point of the story isn't don't do it and be afraid of mucus. The point is everyone's body is different, and the body will choose what to pull out when it's ready.
I've had a real blurry and a lot of my eye seeping from it a lot. So, but that's not even aged. That's fresh. So I'm afraid to use age after that. I might as well wait until that fresh doesn't have that reaction. I was thinking. So did you just put the cotton ball in your mouth, Brother's Age?
I sucked out the rest of it.
Yeah.
Before I threw it in the trash. So keep experimenting. Like all of us, we're all pioneers. So you're going to discover something new for you, and you may want to share it.
Mm-hmm.
So keep exploring. All right, page 124. AUT eliminates blackheads, pimples. Teenagers love it. Orin treats acne and blackheads on the face. Or it's antifungal, antibacterial characteristics help solve problems that disturb you, make you feel self-conscious or embarrassed. Soak a cotton ball in the freshly collected shivambu and apply it to any skin surfaces with pimples. Topical or external use of Orin works wonders on insect and ant bites, wasp, hornet, bee stings, jellyfish stings, poison ivy, poison oak, burns, sunburn, eczema, bruises, dried or cracked skin. Did I put edema in that group? Cuts, scratches, or wounds. Use your imagination and intuition when applying Orin topically to treat any and all skin conditions. Been in the sun too long? Nah, don't worry. Orin removes sunburn sting in 10 minutes as it quickly raises the alkaline pH, which is in chemistry the value of the concentration of the hydrogen ion of the skin and the body. Apply Orin to any skin surfaces exposed to the sun after sunbathing. Within minutes, the sting will be unnoticeable and a beautiful tan will be rewarded for treating a sunburn with Orin. Every time we go to this place called Valley View, which we're going back in May, it's a clothing optional place, and everybody's putting on sunscreen number 37 or whatever that is. And 2 hours later, they're still complaining and ouch and ooh and ah, and I smile at them with my suntan. I'm going, well, I just slathered pee on my face. I don't have a problem. And we're naked, so I can, go everywhere with it. And I hope they catch on this year.
That is one thing I've noticed, that I don't get sunburns anymore. I can lay out there for 2 hours or be outside for hours, but and I don't get burnt. And I'm just like, wow, that's just so weird and so good. So, and it's just because I put pee all over my skin.
Yeah, so you can scratch a sunscreen out off the remove list.
I never used it anyway. Yeah.
I didn't either, and I never got into sunglasses either.
Yeah,
No.
me either.
I always thought that was an unnatural thing. Um, Soak a cotton ball in the fresh collected shivambu and apply it all over the place. Topical, external use, I already said that one. Been in the sun too long? Apply Orin to any skin surfaces exposed to the sun after sunbathing, and you won't even notice the burn, the pain. Apply it 2 more times during the next 24 hours to add nourishment to the skin and body. You'll be left with a lovely tan and no discomfort from any excess sun exposure. Section 19, page 125. Orin compresses and body wraps. Orin compresses and body wraps are effective in treating diseased body parts and internal organs, skin conditions, and wounds. These work miracles quickly when treating a 3rd-degree burn. You may have to leave a compress on and keep it moist for 3 days to give the body a chance to grow a new layer of skin. The open or swollen skin over the blister should be left alone. Don't puncture it, since this protects the area serving as a temporary band-aid for the new layer of skin growing under the blister. Page 126. Refill the compress when it becomes dry, replace it and reapply. Section 20. Any questions on that?
No. Pretty awesome.
All right, section 20, fresh Orin rubbings. One method is to soak cotton balls or washcloth in Orin and rub or dab on an affected area. When treating an area that has been affected, get a soft latex disposable glove for your hands. Soft plastic type of shoe covers used by surgeons. Plastic bags, shower cap. Well, let me just pull it out. I showed you this collection, I'm sure. These guys, you can either put them on your head, you can put them on your hands, you can put them on your feet. And the reason I was doing that is that this becomes a mobile hand soak. You put it over your feet, it's a mobile foot soak. You could tie it up enough so it doesn't leak. You could walk around the backyard or somewhere, and you're treating your feet and your hands and all that. That's what those things are. Oxygen is what causes the skin to blister. Oh, yeah, I'm on the right page. Plastic wrap or large leaf to a tree to cover to wrap the burned or affected area. This is done to keep oxygen away from the skin. Oxygen causes the skin to blister and to feel painful. Indication: general skin care, rashes, wounds, and bites. Homeopathic UT tinctures. Homeopathic remedies are based on unrelated substances that coincidentally produce a similar symptom picture. These are great for chronically ill patients who have weakened systems and are going slow with their healing. It would serve them well as a first introductory step with UT. A homeopathic dose of Orin affects the body in the same way as being vaccinated against a certain disease, in which case a small amount of poisonous substances is injected into a healthy body. Exception is that Orin has no toxins, side effects, or danger to our health. This stimulates the immune system to manufacture antibodies and could be called a homeopathic or isopathic effect. Isopathic remedies are made from the actual substances that cause allergic reactions or illnesses. For example, if you have an allergic reaction to cats, you could make a homeopathic remedy out of cat dander. If you're allergic to ragweed, diluted ragweed pollen would be an appropriate isopathic remedy. This practice is different from standard homeopathic remedies, which are based on unrelated substances that produce a similar symptom picture. The practice of drinking and massaging with Orin allows the antibodies greater access to the body, which stimulates the immune system. Make a homeopathic tincture by putting a dropper full of Orin in a 3-ounce bottle and fill it with distilled water. Page 128. Apply 1 drop to the dropper full of tincture under the tongue every 4 hours. An alternative to a homeopathic tincture is to place 1 to 2 drops of fresh, undiluted Orin under the tongue every 4 hours. Increase the dose every few days until the client can handle 1 or more ounces. I'm going to skip down to the hair and the compress. So you can see this keeps moving back to intuition. These are all suggested servings, suggested ways to use protocols. Section 22. Compress, hair, feet, hands. Fill silicone disposable glove, shower cap, plastic leg, cast protector, or plastic bag with fresh or evolving Orin. Leave it on an area for an hour according to severity of burns, rash, bite, cut, or sting. Do not apply creams or any other products on the skin. If Orin first aid is not available, forget the Orin. Immediately cover the sunburn or burn area is the most important thing to do. Refill your Orin compress when it dries up. For a 3rd-degree burn, you may have to leave it on for 3 days to give the body a chance to grow a new layer of skin. Enjoy watching these unique protocols for healing conditions of the brain, hands, and feet, and there's a link to a demonstration there. Oh, we're going to talk about Mike Whittord, who's coming to Boulder. Throughout history, sages have been aware of the hormonal effects of Orin. They state that if a person is unable to urinate, Orin from somebody of the same sex is acceptable, but not from somebody of the other sex. It has been a long-held belief that female Orin contains greater amounts of female hormones, such as estrogen, and if ingested over a long period of time by a man, this may have a feminizing effect. The opposite was also believed to be true. For a woman who ingests male Orin, would contain extra testosterone. Despite this theory or superstition, many report that Orin therapy is needed to restore health. Orin from either gender will do just fine. As you can remember in the Shivamba Wisdoms, it works no matter your considerations. That's what makes it really amazing. It's known as a Universal Panacea for a reason. For patients who are unable to keep down fluids or urinate, obtain Orin from another person other than the patient to give it to a person who is sick. The preferred donor is a vegan, non-smoker who does not take drugs or drink alcohol. If you can't find such a person, I'd still use whatever I can get. That's the best case scenario. This method of using the Orin in a donor works well because Orin is neither gender, age, or race specific. Some UT therapists like Doc Mike Whittord of Chicago with over 22 years, he's bumped it up, 22 years of UT experience, prove this point to his seriously ill clients by drinking their urine, both genders, even those that were diagnosed with cancer, diabetes, or a virus. They are getting great results. So you got to think about that in case you're ever in a situation and someone says, well, what if I should drink a man's or a woman's? And you go, well, let me demonstrate. And if you don't want to demonstrate, you'll find out what kind of thoughts you have about it. I'm not saying you have to do that. Okay, for the record. All right. The whole body, leave it on 15 minutes. Avoid use of soap. Note, for topical use, applying Orin that is at least 8 days old is better than 2-day-old Orin. Save it in a glass jar with a good cover in a cool and dark place. Obtain Orin immediately after intercourse and apply it to the genitals and related area. Girls should apply to a douche with fresh Orin. Leave the Orin on the skin for at least 10 minutes. Breathe in vapors of Orin, either from the palm of a hand, mister, spray bottle, nebulizer, diffuser, 2 to 3 times a day until the healing crisis occurs or ends. Change or complement your diet with raw foods. A more simpler and far for some challenging way of eating is the fruitarian lifestyle. Any questions, any comments?
No.
Anybody?
I don't think so.
Just amazing.
Very amazing. And I'm going to let you guys talk while over here. I'm going to go over here and collect some Orin off camera. I'll be right back. I got my jar.
I'm looking forward to not wearing my glasses anymore.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Does anybody know anybody that's like got much better eyesight after starting?
Some of the people who I've been, working with, talking to, they may have gone down like a half a step or a whole step in their reading glasses in the last 6 months.
That'd be good. Yeah.
I have barely used urine in my eyes because my eyes haven't bothered me. So I just haven't done much with it. But even just over the 8 years, my eyesight, which is barely anything, but when last time I had them looked at, they said, oh, they've gotten better again. And I had astigmatisms in both eyes, and now one of the astigmatisms is gone. But I can't prove it's urine.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I would use it just for the refreshing aspect as well. If your eyes are strained or stressed, or you've been using it in front of a screen too much, it's nice to give your eyes a break.
Well, plus I get like allergies in my eyes, especially we have a cat here now. If the hair gets in there, and the urine seems to really help calm down the allergy.
Are you doing any urine therapy with your cat?
No, what kind of urine therapy?
Well, you massage it on his fur. You put some in his food. You rub it on his paws.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, just
Nope.
think of it as a small little person.
Yeah.
If you get in the habit now, then you'll know what to do if something happens with your cat and it gets sick or injured.
Okay. Well, I guess I could do that with the dog too then, huh? 'Cause there's a dog here. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to stand under its hind legs to catch the urine.
I don't think he'd let me.
Yeah, he
Right.
might take that the wrong way. All right, I'm going to skip over to one by the bedside. The nails, the choosing the right containers. The right containers is always a question for people. Page 127. The Shiva Kalpa from the Dhamara Tantra scriptures recommends the use of pots made out of gold, silver, copper, brass, iron, glass, earth, clay. You can use coconut shell, bamboo, bones, leather, or a bowl made out of plantain leaves as the ideal containers to use to store the Orin. What to use as a cover? Cheesecloth, soft material, nylon stocking can stretch to cover any size jar. Covering an Orin jar is optional. Do you know why I say that? Yeah, she does. But whether you cover it with something soft for the breathable aspect of it, or whether you screw on the lid, it doesn't matter because nothing can contaminate it. Nothing grows in there but it. If anything gets in there, it's going to alchemize it. So that's a personal choice. Orin is ultra antiseptic and antibacterial. You can simply screw on a lid if you want and leave Orin alone to evolve gracefully. Labeling the storage date lets us measure the quote age, strength, and any unusual changes in the Orin, evolving Orin. You guys dating your water?
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking back and go, oh, that was November of 2021, or whatever the date was. That's great because you have an idea, how old it is. Since there's no special formula to determine when Orin will reach its nutritional peak, trusting intuition and personal experience is the best indicator of the strength of the evolutionary Orin. Orin users have reported storing evolving Orin for 9 or more years. You're about to love to hear what I'm about to say. Doc Mike Whittord overnighted to me his 12-year-old urine that I'm going to
Wow.
take over to VJ either today or tomorrow when it arrives.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that thing is so potent. That the patient just needs 1 to 3 drops under the tongue.
Are you going to put it a topical too, or just on the tongue?
It's up to Indira. She's the nurse.
Oh, it's up to Endura. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
What she's been doing is putting it on the tongue. So when he has a swallow reflex, it'll go down. Or she's been applying it in his food or into the tongue, and she's been putting quite a few drops around the lips because he's been drying out.
Is he conscious?
Oh, he's conscious. He can talk.
Oh, he is conscious. Oh, okay.
He can hold a conversation. He can even assert himself. The other day, Indira was trying to give him a little bit more aged urine, and very firmly, 3 times in a row, he said, no, no, no. I said, attaboy, fight it,
wow.
fight for it. He was great.
Wow. Well, what is his condition? Why is he in there?
Well, supposedly he had a pulmonary embolism and something affected his lungs. And then they thought something was going on in his intestines, and they thought it was a prostate or a bladder issue. They tried all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
And he's
gosh,
got a catheter in him right now.
Oh, yeah.
But I have a feeling he's going to be released tomorrow.
Oh, good.
And we're either going to take him to a rehab in a nearby town. If it isn't dated, it's mystery juice. Brilliant. So that's what's going on with him. And I still appreciate your blessings and energy sent his way.
For sure.
I would love to have him come back on our urine therapy conference calls because if you look back on the YouTube, you can see him being one of the guests. What's fascinating is his field of study. He was a college professor for 35 years at the Colorado University.
Wow.
His field of study is hydrology, the science of water.
Is that right?
And he's been doing urine therapy since 1984. So this is why him and his wife are some of my advisors.
And he lives there in Boulder?
Him and his wife live in Sunshine Canyon, which is this lovely canyon road up in the hills. And you got this view of canyons past canyons, hills, 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 trees, trees, trees. I mean, she's got a 365-degree view up there. It's a place you would die for. I mean, just every time I go there, it's like I'm in no rush to go.
Wow.
And they have had guests from all over the world, gurus, swamis, all kinds of visiting dignitaries. Those are the kind of people that are in their life. Far out, far out. You guys want to read some more or have open discussion? We've got about 20 minutes left.
Well, I wanted to ask you about the containers that I use because I use these green glass water bottles that I collected like 20 of them. So I filled them all up with urine. I just use a what do you call that?
What do you call it? What do you call it?
In order to pour it in, I use a funnel. That's the word. I use a funnel to pour it in. But then I'm not sure if I put it in the sunshine, but I'm not sure if the sun is able to penetrate it because it's green. Does that matter?
No,
I don't
no.
think it matters,
I
right?
think it's
Yeah.
personal choice. It's personal choice. If you get a clear glass, that's different. But if
Well,
if
it's clear green. Yeah, I've got one right here. I'll show you.
the rays might get through, even though it's not
This is one I
solid
just
glass.
filled up.
Yeah, that might
So,
still work. It's not solid.
yeah, it's not solid. And then I just put, this is just toilet paper on the top because, it's like, why not? And then I just put a
Yeah.
rubber band around it, and then I just put the date on it right there.
Yeah, kind of looks
So,
like you're
yeah.
starting kombucha.
It doesn't taste like it.
No. Oh, by the way, I've been drinking some of Indira's. I don't know if it's a year-old or 2-year-old, that we brought it back from the house to the hospital yesterday, and it's 2-year-old, and it looks like and it tastes like soy sauce.
It's Honduras.
It's Indira's.
Oh, wow.
She would give me a dropper full anytime I wanted it.
So it's very salty then.
It seems to be.
Hmm.
They didn't have the cleanest diet, and now they're paying
Interesting.
for it. They're having to clean up their diet.
But you're taking that in you?
Hmm?
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm still standing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I left about 6 ounces of mine so she could use it if she ran low on her own. These folks are kind of like my adopted parents.
It sounds like it.
So that's what's going on. And Doc Mike will be here probably tomorrow early. He left from Dallas this morning.
Who's that?
Doc Mike is, let me give you his website so you can look him up.
Okay. Write it down.
He's been a healer, therapist, teacher, naturopath, you name it, for 22 years. And he's been very, very critical in saving and healing lives. He spent years seeing clients in Guatemala, in Costa Rica, in Ecuador, and he drives across country from Chicago to California right now. He's in Texas, coming over to Colorado. The guy's about 76,
Oh, wow.
and he's a go-getter. And he's been doing healings and things that the medical profession has given up on. So if you ever want to have a conversation with him, there's his website.
Oh, okay. You just put it in. Okay, yeah.
wakeupwell.org. You can also get his cell phone number.
Here it is. Wake up.
We
well.
finally talked him and Indira going to be now. We finally talked him into getting a cell phone. Indira's been resisting the technology, and she goes, "No, you do the email. No, you do the cell phone." And I said, "Listen, Indira, you're a Gemini. You've got to communicate better. Get a cell phone." So she's either going to get one, or we're just going to get one for her.
She's a Gemini.
She's a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. My housemate's a Gemini. We have Gemini parties over here. It's hilarious. So that's what's going on in my world, and it's interesting to me because I've spent more time in the hospital than I have with my practice and with the Water family, and it's been a joy to be of service to that capacity, that I could set my needs and my agenda aside.
Did Michelle leave?
Yeah, she left a while ago.
Oh, okay.
She told us she had to cut out.
Crystal.
Oh, there you are. You're there.
All right,
You're not-
Catherine, did you have a
Crystal
comment?
left.
Michelle,
Sorry, what was that?
did you want to say something? We got a little bit more time here. She's
I
drawing a
guess.
blank. She's drawing a blank. Everybody take a sniff.
I mean, earlier on in the week, I was hoping to find some information on babies, mothers and babies, but I didn't, So.
What kind of information, Michelle?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it would just, if something was written specifically for that, I guess a young mum or any mum, would feel, that they would feel more safe with it, because I think, mums are just obviously much more sensitized to doing anything new, especially urine therapy at that point, which is a shame, because it's at the point when it could do the best, so yeah,
You're wanting to locate urine therapy for babies, some kind of writings?
yeah, if anybody has any writings on that. And then, my daughter's best friend has given birth to a 6-month-old baby, and obviously she's in an incubator. And so, as I was saying, if she drank her Orin, then everything would, because she could end up with mastitis and all that sort of thing. And her baby is on the verge of anemia. So, but she said she'll be interested in it, but she wanted to see information to do with babies and that. So.
Okay, so I would suggest you either do your research and write up a paper, or go to any of the urine therapy Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, Shivambu Hut social media groups and post that question.
Or
Or
go into the search function of those Facebook urine therapy groups and search for pregnancy, babies, etc. Gather all the information you can first, because a lot of people have answered questions 3 or 4 times. And if you post a new question, they might just be like, I already answered that.
Yeah, right, okay.
But if it's already in there, see what you can get.
Yeah, okay.
But to my knowledge, there's no books. Nobody's written this down and said, I've talked to 10 mothers and here's 10 experiences. Like, no one's done that yet.
Right, okay.
And so actually, I remember you emailed earlier in the week, and I got a little overwhelmed with emails this week. But it's like, all I have is anecdotal stories from people, which user data is data, but it's not in a book.
Yeah. It would be great.
And like if you read this one, it says, do not embark in treating pregnant mothers or babies without working with a professional. And that's 1994, and there's no internet then, and there's no, I have one of the people that is a friend of mine who started drinking urine after I told her about it. After she'd had her first child, she was drinking her urine, she got pregnant. That pregnancy wasn't viable. The body let that pregnancy go all on its own. And she'd been drinking urine through the whole pregnancy. About a year later, she gets pregnant again. She's been drinking urine through this pregnancy. She has about another week to go. Everything's fine.
Yeah, it's amazing that she carried on drinking the urine.
Well, she knew it didn't have anything to do with the state of the baby.
Yeah, I guess that's that's the thing. You start suggesting something like this at such a fragile time, and something went wrong, then it could be blamed. So I'm not pushing it, let's put it that way. Yeah, okay, that's great. I mean,
it supports whatever's happening, so of course it has something to do with it, but it's just like saying one person had no wheat and the other person had all this wheat, and somebody else ate meat and someone else didn't eat meat, and it's like, is the one thing the reason? Like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle, you're welcome to be the pioneer who brings this to the world.
Yeah.
This could be a turning point for mothers or for babies.
Yeah. I need to get myself on social media. I've stayed away from it.
Now's your chance. I've been wondering about the effects of urine on the liver and cleaning the liver up. I'm sure it must do that, and it must take a little time, I'm thinking. But after, years and years and years of accumulating, stuff in the liver. I'm just wondering about that. If, what would be the most effective for that?
Well, what do you think is the most effective for that, other than oral consumption?
I would say other than oral consumption, other. Oh, well, I guess compresses and, topical. Yeah.
Foot soaks,
Foot soaks. Yeah. All of the above. Yeah. Everything.
massage, enemas.
Yeah.
Belly button.
Enemas. Yeah. Enemas. Yeah. That's a great one. Yeah. Yeah.
And more people are realizing that's the go-to for their health. I mean, you get in a crisis, the first thing any good naturopath or health practitioner will tell you is enemas. Get the system open up. Get this the cludge. What do you call that stuff? Sludge.
Sludge. Yeah.
Thank you. I was going to get there. Out of your pipes, so that your body doesn't have to be working so hard to get the energy for you.
Well, and I practiced the Gerson therapy for a little while, and they're all about coffee enemas. He's all about coffee enemas. And I was reading that before he did the coffee enemas, he was losing a lot of his patients from too much. I guess they were, having too big of crises, the healing crises, and to the point where it was too much for their body. Mm-hmm. And then he started introducing the coffee enemas, and completely changed everything. So that was able to open up the portal, what's it called, the hepatic portal, mm-hmm. and release a lot of the toxins.
Yeah, and that was
so I imagine the urine therapy, urine, I would think does the same thing, especially aged, right?
Mm-hmm. Plus, it has more nutrients.
I can't wait to try that.
Yes, take notes.
I just don't want to turn out like Michelle, like you were talking about how you felt so terrible after you did it.
But remember, I was really in a weak state, and then I'm in
a weak state. I'm in a better state than I was. Yeah.
I did full bag of aged urine, and then held it.
I'm not going to do that. Maybe a cup.
Add it to the water.
I know.
Start up with some drops and start building up.
It sounded brutal. Michelle.
Yeah, it was. Don't want to go through that again. But now I know. I saw if I get nausea again, then I can put the belly button. Belly button.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So it's a good thing we included that in the book.
Yeah. I'm really excited about the belly button.
Get your cotton balls. You can start
cotton balls. Yeah. You need some kind of like little rubber suction thing to go over you.
Yeah, right.
A plug, and it suctions over your cotton wool ball, so you can walk around in the day. Just
I'll hold it in there, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like those things people use for cupping, and then it leaves a hickey afterwards.
So I would think that would be really good for the gut biome stuff too, huh? I didn't mention that.
No, because that hadn't crossed my awareness at the time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the whole term was new to me up to a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So we're going to meet again on Thursday. All this Orin's getting to me. We're going to meet again on Thursday, same time, same place. Class number 5. Before I forget to tell you, send me how your name should appear on your certificate.
Mm-hmm.
So we can ask our guy in India to make those for you.
Cool.
We had a guy in the other class. He liked my name so much, he decided his diploma should say Brother E. And his name is Ernie. We all know him as Ernie. He says, would you make it Brother E? And then there's another gal. She wanted her certificate to be entitled Mama Lynn.
I love it.
You can personalize it. It's totally cool.
I think I'm going to be Michelle Springwell.
think I'll be Sister Catherine.
However you want, please send it my way.
No, just kidding.
Sister Springwell.
I like that.
Well, wonderful. I've enjoyed
Okay.
being in class with you. I've been threatening to the Water family that I was just going to stop doing this, and just we were going to produce professional videos with um, PowerPoints and this, that, and the other thing, and because I said, oh, I'm overloaded. So many people are pulling on me every day. I mean, just for me to go for a hike for an hour to get away from everything took some effort yesterday. Um, but it's kind of hard to beat the interactions you have like this, the personal touch. You don't get that when you do the pay-per-view and those other kinds of instructional videos. So if I can figure out how to manage my time properly, I'll just keep doing this.
Oh, so nice. Keeping
Well,
it
and
real.
get other people like Megan to help too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Yeah, she's my new counterpart right over there.
Yeah, definitely. Feel very lucky
Yeah, for
to
sure.
manage
And then
to.
once we're trained, we can help too.
Anytime you want to jump in, I would love it. If you guys want to start seeing clients, being a teacher, I mean, the whole movement is looking for more and more teachers and therapists every day. Because as the momentum keeps building, as the tipping point keeps moving closer, as the paradigm keeps shifting, you guys are going to have more work than you'll know what to do with. And I've told this to Darlene, I've told this to Matt, I've told everybody who's jumped on these calls, roll up your sleeves. If you're serious about this and you are called and this is your work, you're going to be given work.
That's awesome, but I haven't been doing it long enough. I feel like I need more
Yes, and
experience. Yeah.
yes, and you can use that for so long. You can use that.
Yeah. That's true.
And the best thing to do is to just learn. You've heard, if you guys read the Course in Miracles, teaching and learning are one and the same. So you can start teaching and learn with your students.
Yeah, really.
And there's also that sense of I don't mean this in a negative sense, but it was shared with me with this metaphor recently, the idea of what is it that you were looking to heal or shift in your life? And once it changed, have you gotten to the point where it's a scar now? Like it's still visible. It might not be totally gone, but it's a scar instead of a fresh wound.
Gotcha.
And it can be hard to teach from a fresh wound, but it's a little easier to teach when the scar is there.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Right? It doesn't mean you need 10 years, but it's just having that like, okay, I understand a little bit about how that works now. Yeah. But that's up to each of us to figure out what that moment
Well, I
is.
mean, like I already feel a lot of changes and transformation happening. So yeah.
Yeah, even when you just have a simple conversation with someone, you say, "Hey, I discovered something that's really helped me out. You might want to take a look at it. It might be something you're interested in." That's teaching.
Are you open-minded? That's a good one.
Well, that was one of the first things I was asking people when they came up to the table when I was doing a public presentation in Boulder last year. By the way, we had 35 guests.
Yeah.
People would come up and say, "Well, what is urine therapy?" And my first question was, "Can you keep an open mind?"
Yes,
I
exactly.
want to know if it's worth my time.
I guess what would actually being like a teacher actually look like, with a client, like how somebody's sick and wants to connect with someone to coach them, and what would you have, like half-hour sessions or an hour session, or just talking and sharing your experience, and would they need to sign anything, in case if they're really sick, and you start telling them to drink their pee and they happen to die anyway, so I mean what happens?
Yeah.
I've got certain fears around that, being labeled as a quack.
Yeah,
quack,
well, you want to know that you're not medically trained, and so
yeah.
you can't diagnose, you can't make prescriptions. All you're doing is educating them. You're a teacher. You might even want to leave the word therapist out of the conversation.
Yeah. Okay, so but then do they sign anything or agree to anything? You know, like,
I've never had anybody sign any liability forms,
yeah,
but I always let them know that this is nothing that I can guarantee. You can't even guarantee it. We can't give you a timeline. What does it
Exactly.
take? We're not going to make prescriptions. We're not going to give them that kind of thing. But there are plenty of testimonials from people all over the world we can send them to. We can send them to research. We can send them to science, whatever it takes.
yeah, okay,
Okay.
And the first place you want to get to is to have, I mean, if you can get this before you start teaching, is the confidence and the certainty that this works.
yeah,
And then that'll be transferred from your certainty.
sure,
People really want to know that you care more than you know stuff.
yeah,
And if there's a human connection,
Yeah, that's true.
you'll get great results with people.
yeah,
I've had a lot of clients cry on the phone, scream on the phone, laugh on the phone because they needed to clear and process. And we used the session part of it for that.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And you get to check in and see if you're intimidated or scared.
Well, that's a lot of my work anyway, is helping people through emotions. So that would be good.
When you're ready, you're ready. I've been consulting with naturopaths, with doctors, with psychiatrists, with all kinds of business people that I would normally be scared as hell to talk to. And they're approaching me. I'm going, oh, they're seeking my advice. Wow. So there was a level playing field because it was human to human. It had nothing to do with their identity or their label.
Yeah, amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, and that's what I love is that you're keeping it really simple yet powerful. You know, as soon as you come out of that, then it goes into sort of dodgy area. You know,
Yeah.
because it is the absolute simplicity of it.
And, and and people like Megan, you can tell I have a thing for her. People like Megan gets to pull into her bag of healing modalities, her toolkit, and design whatever is necessary for it's case by case. So you're never going to come into a client and go, I know exactly what to tell them. You don't know, darn. You don't know a thing until it's time. So it keeps you humble. But you got a lot to draw from.
Mm, mm. It's
All
exciting.
righty.
Yeah.
Anything
Okay.
else before I cut loose and go play in 65-degree weather?
No.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, I'll
See
see
you
you in
in
a
2
couple
days.
days. In case you need to reach
Yeah.
out to me, you can reach out.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Assign a host. I'm not assigning a host.